So we're under a wicked ass storm over here by me. It's so loud. I was like, oh, I just woke up like at 3:30 and I was just laying there on the couch and I was still had a rough night because she's got a partner in crime now, so she's very active. And she went out and she was running the fence. Then even when we went for a walk, she decided that she was going to drag me. I couldn't believe it, how hard I was pulling. And she just pulled, go look, she's like a sled dog, man. And she just pulled out to let go. So she went over there and was running on this side of the fence. And little crazy wackadoo Jackaroo, he's right up there with her, just what she wanted. But now she's so sore, is every time she has ever done that. I think she's forgotten how bad it is. So I keep trying to remind her, like, this is what happens when you run the fence. And so she's so stiff. So I swear to God, I can't believe how much medicine she's taking. She can barely walk. It takes her, oh, she's really having a rough time. But, and then plus with this weather on top of it, oh my God. And so I woke up. She's still asleep right now. Jack's got his eyes on me. He's hyper alert. But so when I woke up and I was laying there, I was like, fuck, this wind, man. So windy. And it is so rainy. And these huge wind gusts come in. And then it keeps pouring and pouring. Then I was laying there, I was like, man, I should freaking record because I can't believe the power hasn't gone out already with how windy it is. And so it's like, I'll get up, and so I got my phone and I was looking, go on and look and see if there's messages or whatever. And then there was this loudest gust outside and I heard all this stuff falling and stuff. I jumped up and I was looking out the window and I have no idea. It's like, it's crazy how they try to hit every place with these big storms at night. It's like they always want to catch you off guard. And when I was just on there, I did run across Duran, and he was just going around, and there didn't seem to be anything going on where he was. But then on another one, there was another guy, but he was Spanish speaking, but he could say some because he kept saying aquí LA, aquí LA and stuff. So he's here in LA, but it was like he was, I don't even know. It was so dark. It was so hard to see. There was lots of stuff. It looked like it was under a bridge and a whole bunch of stuff, like junk, like a dump pile under a bridge, and it was on fire. So I was like, well, I don't know if he's part of the fire starters or what, but I was like, oh my gosh, start a fire under a bridge right before rush hour? Well, today would be Saturday, right? No, today's Friday. Yeah, today's Friday, I think. The 10th. I don't know. I could have skipped a day. Maybe today is Saturday. I'm so lost in time. It's just Groundhog our day. But no, is today the 11th? Is today my happy anniversary? Yeah, maybe yesterday was the 10th. I went to the store on the 9th. I didn't go to the store yesterday, did I? Fuck. Isn't that weird how it all just blends in together? It's like, whoa, I think today's 11th. I think it's my happy anniversary day. It's crazy because it was like the day where I felt like everything, like I started going on my new timeline. Once the trigger happened, then it was like I shifted timelines for sure. It was like that. And so, anyways, I'm just going to stay positive about it. I'm not going to feel negative or anything. Let me think. I know, but so even if it's Saturday, I mean, there's still lots of traffic in LA all the time. If they do some burn under a bridge, and even if they collapse the bridge, but if they have to, but I have no idea where it was. It could have been way out. But he was the one who kept saying Aquí LA, because people must have been asking him, where are you? Where are you? Because it was like all this fire, and he was pretty close to it. Like, where at first you're like, is this just dumpster cans, and people trying to keep warm, and he's under the bridge, it's a homeless bridge. But then you could see, no, it's things on fire. There's fires all over the place. And then, you got the fire starters out there. That's what they do. It's got to bring in the chaos, and this weekend is supposed to be really chaotic. They're expecting. I'll tell you the one thing I saw last night where I was just like, I was blowing my mind, man. It's really blowing my mind. It's one thing, when you've got all these people and Americans. This is just so strange. Like they've got people so cut off from their own flag, their own place or something. I don't know. It's weird. You see these parades, right? And parades, they are kind of like parades, protests, right? And they are got all the Palestinian flags. They're all over the place. Everybody's got them. And I'm thinking, how many Americans are in there waving that thing? And then yesterday, and I think it was in New York. It could have been Chicago, someplace in a big city. It could have even been LA. I don't know. I can't remember because everything's just running into everything else. But it was all these people with Mexican flags. I don't know if they had any Pakistan ones, any Pakistan ones or Palestinian ones or whatever. I think it's Pakistan. I think it's Pakistan, and the Palestinians are the. I don't know. There's so much shit over there with all the land and identity, and it's wacky. It's all this fight. It's certain people have been fighting. These people have been fighting forever, and so then they bring it over here to our country, and then you see these people are out. Yesterday it was a hugest protest. It was like the same thing, only they had all Mexican flags. I think it was Mexican flags. They weren't the other flag. It was a new flag. And they were all like, Viva Mexico and Palestine. They're all out there marching to the streets for Mexico and Palestine. And I just was like, I was like, fuck, I don't think that some of these SJWs have any idea. Like, that could be considered treason. I'm pretty sure. I mean, they've already gone and put the flag down. We're at war, and they are going and raising other people's flags. Like, that's treason, I'm pretty sure. Like, I don't know how all this is going to play out, but I think there's a lot of people who don't know what the fuck they're doing. Maybe I don't. Maybe, from a different timeline I grew up in or something, that's what we were taught in school. I don't know. But the way they went to the Capitol and raised the Palestine flag or Pakistan flag or whatever the fuck, the Gaza, I don't fucking know. It's wacky. It's like these people don't know. There was this video this person was just doing, and it was in a classroom, and it was one of the girls in the classroom in the front row. And it looked like seniors or 11th grade. They were definitely older kids. And the teacher, something about the flag, I don't know, and it still had their fringe on it. But remember, the schools are government organizations. So, they're still under the corporation. They're still under, they still have their fringe on their flag. They're not of the republic. And so but that's a big thing that the people who are sending their kids to these indoctrination camps have got to see. Like, this isn't an education center. This is an indoctrination center. And so, I see that what the girl's saying is valid because there's got to be this breakaway. But there was something, I think they maybe did the Pledge of Allegiance or something. I don't know. But she wouldn't get up and she wouldn't do anything. And so the teacher got mad. And she's saying she's peacefully protesting. She doesn't have to stand up. She hates this country and all this stuff. And he starts getting really mad about all the people who have died for freedom and stuff. And what's wacky is, like, the people who are sitting there doing that they're trying to fight someone else's fight, like, and they don't realize that all of these people want to get here because of this flag, because it represents freedom. And the people who have the freedom, it's like they don't realize what they have. They don't understand the gift they have, what these other people desire. And then they're saying, well, I hate this place. And it's like they're all so twisted up. It's like they can't. But all these things are going to keep fighting and playing out. Like, there's definitely duet fucking wars going on. And like all that tension building, and the people just get ruder too. They just get meaner and ruder to each other. Yesterday, I did find this one guy was just irritating the fuck out of me. And I thought of doing, I was going to do this. I was, and then I had to reel it in and be like, okay, Kelly, really, would that be cool? No, really wouldn't be cool. And, but I had done some video. What was it? I keep seeing these people just mowing down on like fucking sausages and hamburgers and shit. This one lady was doing a video of her daughter enjoying this cheeseburger and how funny it was because she wanted another one, and it just grossed me the fuck out, man. I was so grossed out. I couldn't believe it. And this other lady making this like sausage sandwich. It's got every kind of hot dog and sausage and all cut up and fried, and then put some cheese and some, just put all this on there and you got yourself a nice little cannibal biscuit. It's like, fuck, man, that is gross. Like, people don't have any idea what they're eating. And when you know what they're eating, oh my God, it's so disgusting. It's really awful. It's rough, man. And so then I did some video. I don't remember because there was like a bunch of things hitting me. So I did some video and I said something about like, okay, so if you're okay with eating cows, which, I mean, cows are sacred to many people. Cows are so smart. They're so big. They're so gentle. They're so loving, but we just use them and abuse them, eat them. No challenge to it. Just slaughter them. Just stick the corporations in to slaughter them. And these have like, they care about their kids. They go in groups. Like, these are caring animals. And like I said before, my husband that I raised the kids with, the family, that's the family of my kids, that they had gotten a cow. They were going to use it to slaughter and use it for meat. And then they had it out there on their little farm. And all of a sudden they realized this thing has a personality. It's loving. It's like a dog. And they developed this relationship with it. And they're like, nope, we're never eating meat again. They stopped. And so, you know, it was like, so, or if you're okay with eating cows. And then, I'd seen a video on pigs and that we shouldn't be eating pigs. And it goes through this whole thing about how toxic it is, how their body works, how their system works and stuff. And it's like so bad. And it's got so many parasites, like 31 parasites in it that can kill us. And you can't cook some of them out. And that's why so many people have so many parasites in them. And from eating pork. I'd heard pork was bad a long, long time ago, man. I fed Stella a ton of pork because it was so cheap. The other dogs too, I got them pork roasts, and I would cook them for a long, long time, make them food. And then I quit feeding her the pork ones because the pork was so cheap. You could get a big giant roast, like $12 or something. And I would feed it, and then I would make all this dog food, and I'd put it in the freezer. You know, I'd have this whole thing going when I had my other dogs. But now, and then when she kept going in about her hips and stuff, and they kept saying, she's too fat, she's too fat. And I told one of the vets I fed her the pork. I think they maybe asked her what I fed her, and I told them, and they said, go to chicken and white chicken. And so I'm getting the whole chicken, so she's still getting dark chicken, and so that might be why she's gained some weight, because I give her the juice and stuff. But I think that they need that kind of stuff anyways. Just sucks because, you know, her hips. And but so, and even chickens are cute as fuck. They just go out and follow people around and stuff. They're cute as hell. So I can't see eating chickens, but I feel horrible. I'm always apologizing to them when I make them for Stella, because I still gotta, I don't know, I feel like dogs are supposed to have 75% of their diet is meat. They're not supposed to be living off of kibble. Like, if they were on their own, well, they wouldn't be eating kibble. They'd be eating garbage and scraps. And they need the meat protein and stuff. It would be like another scavenger animal until they would turn, you know, develop into more pack hunting. You know, I'm sure like coyotes and wolves and stuff probably just end up being wild dogs after a while that just made their own little pack or something. I don't know. I don't know if you can hear the wind. It's crazy. It's so creepy. Like, the lights can totally go out. That's what I started thinking. It's like, God, I better hurry up and do this because the lights could go out. And then this is another thing I heard too. I'll finish that other one in a sec. Because it's at the, Oh yeah, okay, let me finish this one first. So so pigs are bad, chickens, like I don't want fish, they're poisoning the fuck out of that. I'm not gonna eat a goddamn rabbit. I had deer when I was a kid because they used to make me eat it because my dad was a hunter and I couldn't, it's like, oh, we'd have to eat pheasant, doves. No, were they doves? No, pheasants and were those little ones that run across the road? Those aren't doves, are they? I can't remember what they're called. They're cute as hell. Quail. Quail. We had to eat quail and pheasant. And anyways, so in this video I said, well, so if you're okay with eating cows, you're okay with eating pigs, you're okay with eating chickens, you're okay with eating fish, and fish is poisonous as fuck. You're okay with eating rabbits, you're okay with eating deer, you're okay with eating, all these things. And I threw in human in there. And then this guy comes in and he starts, I kept thinking, this guy can't be for real. But he would not stop. And he would be like, Kelly, well, Kelly, I believe if you were starving, you would eat whatever too. Because he's telling me, well, yeah, I'd eat some, especially if I was starving. I bet I could just give me some barbecue sauce. And I said, oh, huh, I mean, make it into a joke. He's like, I'm not joking. And I'm like, okay, well, this battle going back and forth, I was like, well, you know, I wasn't calling him names. I definitely called him cannibal, but I wasn't just, saying you stupid asshole, you're a total dick. I was just like, well, you're a cannibal. And he's like, well, we all would be, if you'd have to go in and read the whole conversation to be totally accurate. I can just kind of do like an overview. But he kept trying to tell me that I would. And I kept saying, dude, you don't know. Like, no, I wouldn't. I don't care. I wouldn't, I don't have that relationship with food. I don't feel like, oh my God, I'm going to starve. I better just eat somebody. I was like, and then I feel like so many of these people are going to be shocked. They're just, it's the same thing as like this locking in. It's like this gluttony of like, oh, eat all the sausages, eat her. And then it's going to be like, oh, guess what? And then it's going to be that pain of, oh my God, this is inside of me. How many people are in me? Should I do DNA on my poop? See how many are in there? Like it's, ugh. Yeah, but I feel like that's kind of like some people, maybe they've got to heal gluttony and stuff. Like, I don't know. But man, that guy kept arguing. He kept telling me, no, he was going, if shit went down and that's all there was to eat, hell yeah, he'd eat it. And he knows for sure that I would too. I said, dude, don't be telling yourself that you're going to do, everybody else is going to do it, so I am, because not everybody's like you. I would not. I stopped eating meat when I was a kid. Don't tell me what I would do. You don't know me. It's like, Jesus Christ, these fucking people just lock in on their bullshit. Like everybody else is as bullshit as me. No, I'm not. Sorry. Go find some other bullshitters. Go find some other people who just like, well, yeah, shit goes down. That guy looks pretty good. Let's just chow down on that one. I mean, at some point then, is it going to turn into, what the fuck, that movie? I've seen a couple of those dystopian movies. Then they start hunting people because they're hungry. There's nothing left to eat. That one, what is it called? Bad Batch or something, where they would take the poor people and cut parts off of them. I couldn't even finish that movie. I saw it, like, I think I was 10 minutes in. I was like, fuck that. Like, fuck. Cutting off the goddamn leg. People are going around, no arms and legs. I guess selling arms so they can fucking get some, like, God, it's disgusting. So, but this guy who I just seen, because I went on TikTok to see, like, is anything going on? What's going on? Anybody complaining about the banks? Anybody complaining about shit? Like, I saw one weird thing, like, somebody had drug the park toy out into the middle of the street. Like, that's shenanigans as far as I'm concerned. That's the kind of stuff the instigators are there to do, just to cause trouble, just to keep things unstable, keep things, I mean, somebody then can pull up there, they can have it situated, and then, they can do whatever the fuck they want. They set up traps, like, and things are gonna get heated. Like, they're expecting something about with the protests and something about that's, and it's all a setup. It's all just fucking set up just to cause more traps. I mean, more chaos. But they're, warning us. The FBI, everybody's warning us. This stuff's going to go on. You better be safe. I say, you guys are the ones doing it to us. Fuck off with your shit. You want to help us. Or you're fighting, we're fighting you. And it seems like I saw another weird FBI thing too. On them aggressive with some other people. I can't remember. But all that stuff's going to keep coming to the surface anyways because they're all going down. Well, I don't know if all of them, but lots of them, most of them. There's so many arrests. Like, that is definitely something I see is crazy, crazy numbers on local arrests with people showing local news. Crazy numbers. Oh, yeah, and so they've put out subpoenas on Hunter and the clan over there, his work associates, other people in the family, just, right on the edge of Joe. So I don't know how long they're going to drag this out. Like, are they going to fucking make us go through, like, they're going to bring him in, bring him before Congress, then they're going to bring Joe. It's like, oh my God, how long can they drag this shit out? It's like something's got to go because there's way too many things that are just like teetering. Like everything's about to fall. The money, everything. So it's like, I just don't see how they can drag it out for a long time. But who knows? They could. They could just try and make it a big spectacle. It all depends on the people who are watching social media and watching what people talk about and watching, like we're being watched to gain perspective. Just like what I'm doing. I'm going out and watching and seeing. You have the white hat people that are doing that to try and determine how many people are awake, because that is going to be the determining thing over how much violence and how things are going to go down. They need a certain amount of people awake. It's like they had said a long time ago, they need like 71% of people to seem like they're kind of questioning things, like they need answers. But there's so many people who still just go around, how about a sausage? Like, it's in some of these videos, this one video I saw, this woman was just disgusted. And she was duetting somebody who, she said, we're not doing this again. We're not doing, so I don't know if they've been in a battle before, but this is, it was two black girls and this was one. And I think some of the older black women are just being really disgusted by some of the other young ones that are just selling their souls out and don't know. But it's like they've twisted all the young girls' heads up. They've just got them all twisted, man. But so this girl has like a fucking, it's huge. It's like, it had to be the biggest crab you ever saw. It's like a crab leg, when you pull the stuff out and if you keep it whole. And so this one she has, it's like about fucking this long. It's so long. And she has some sort of pink, weird dip stuff. And so this thing is long. I mean, it looks like a dildo. It's like swinging out of her hand over here and swinging out over here. So it's got that whole thing going. And then she's dipping it in the sauce and sticking it in her mouth. And I just don't get what, I mean, it's sad. Like, people don't know that they're just humiliating themselves. They're selling themselves out. They're selling themselves, like, disrespect. Like, you don't need to respect me. I don't respect myself. It's sad. It's sad to watch. But, so this other guy, I had seen this video, and he was saying that he has some friend that he's always asking, like, who has a connection over somebody who knows shit going on. I don't know if they're military or in politics somehow or what. But he said every time he asks him, the guy's always like, oh, nothing, And he said this time the guy called him. And he said the guy just called him. And he said he asks him all the time, for information or what's going on. But the guy doesn't tell him. But he called him on this one. And he said that his connection told him that we're going to be hit in America with an electric bomb. And so, like an EMP, like what a lot of us are expecting, a big, an electronic jolt. And it's going to put out all of the electronics. And it's going to put out all of the stuff. Which, okay, but how does that align with the TV coming on and informing people? Because that's supposed to be a big part. So it's still, to me, it would seem like 3 days of darkness or 5 days or 7 days, like everybody's got all these different things. It's going to be the darkness is to get people to wake up. I mean, if that's what goes down, if we have some fucking EMP and it turns into chaos. And then I saw a video and it was showing the coronal mass ejections. And I was like, oh, I wonder if that's how they'll line it up. It won't be that we're being nuked. It'll be a CME coming, and that is what they blame it on. And it puts out all of the power, the planes fall and stuff, which I don't know when that's coming, but the guy said that his friend told him to get 5 years worth of food. And see, I'm just not in alignment with that scenario. It's like, that's not where I think that we're headed. But I don't know. I mean, and also, that could be the split. What was that video I saw? Oh yeah, this was somebody explaining about the two Earths. And I don't know who this is. This is somebody sharing a video out of a documentary or something. And so they're saying that there's two Earths, but they're on top of each other. They're like, they're like two Earths. One is positive and one's negative. And they're going to separate. The same way as, like, this guy said, the same way as we separate from our body when our soul moves out. We separate from our body. So that the two aspects that separate. So our soul separates and we go up into a higher vibration. And well, our avatars, I mean, there's a ceremony usually, and they're buried and they're gone. But so this part, when it separates, like we still, after our soul leaves, we still leave behind a carcass, a symbol, something that represents us. So then there's a ceremony around that for the people who have to let you go. So there's something left of you for them to process. And so that's what the earth is doing. The earth is separating from that negative aspect, and it's pulling into its positive aspect, and it's separating and going into the lighter version. And that is like where we're, like, the people who are ascending are going with that. And it's wacky too, because when I see these people who talk about ascending and they talk about ascension, but then they keep talking about just, your ascension symptoms, and you're ascending, you're going, don't worry, the earth's doing it all. It's like, if you looked up ascension and stuff, I don't know, I haven't looked it up, I just know. And so I don't know, it's like a shedding of your old self, just like what this guy was saying, what the earth is doing. It's going to separate from its dark aspect. But the darkness, all these people who are still of the dark will stay on that. Man, I don't know if you can hear it. It's so fucking windy. Will stay on that darkness. And it's so creepy too, because I start getting these things in my head, a tree coming flying in and stuff. It's like, fuck, get all that. I'm sure it's gonna be a fucking big mess when I go out there this morning. Who knows? It probably does rain all day. I'll have to look it up. If it's nice, I guess I'll go out and rake. But this is another time when it rained and I started getting diarrhea. How many times have I said that? Like, I don't think rain and diarrhea should go together. Just doesn't make sense. So unless there's something in the rain that makes you sick, which I think it is. So then let me think. So, okay, let me think. Okay, so it splits apart. And so all the people that are still at that negative vibration, that haven't been able to purge out the dark, that they would stay in the dark planet to keep having things happen, to keep working out their stuff, so that they can leave and go to the light one. So I didn't watch the whole video to see what it was saying, but I kind of, I saw what he was saying about separating in the two earths, because there's been this thing about the two earths for a long time. And so anyways, this is how that guy was explaining it. And the part that got me is when he said like when you die, the part of you that leaves, And so it's like we've killed the earth, we've murdered her, and now she's leaving. But those of us who are, working and caring and loving, love the planet, love, that working towards love, 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 love. And that was so fun. I'm telling you, Crystal, that was so fun. It was so freeing to just be driving down the road, just yelling at the geese, love, 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 I was like, it was so fun. And then I'm driving through the neighborhoods, and all the time when I drive through neighborhoods anyways, I'm always singing and dancing and stuff because I know that it sends out that vibration. But to be doing that, it was because there was so many geese, and I know they could hear, and they always do that. They fly over our houses, wah, 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 and I just feel like that's what they're doing. Love, 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 love. Like they're just happy. And so I just wanted to send that happiness back, and it was really fun. It was fun to just get in that and not care. I don't care who sees me. I don't care who thinks I'm weird. I don't care. It's fun. And so anyways, but I think it's like that kind of, energy of letting go of everything, letting go of what everybody thinks, letting go of everything so that you can, go into that light version. But it didn't make sense, like how, when you're putting all that stuff together, how they keep saying, like, we're going in two different directions, and all of a sudden we're all going to be separated from each other, just like overnight, there's going to be a split. And I don't know if when the split happens, I mean, we have a lot of events to happen, a lot of things to go on in this reset. So I don't know, but it makes sense at some point that we're definitely going to be separated. The negative and positive are going to separate. And the thing about the positive too is what I heard, and I think this is in the book of 1. It might be even in. I think there's more channelers who have said this, because I've heard this from other sources besides the book of 1, is that it's like. I think in the book of 1 they call it the harvest, but it's like you have to be 51% in positive. So you just have to be just a little more positive than you are negative. That's all you got to do. Just be a little more positive than you are negative, and you get the opportunity to keep growing in that direction. I don't know when it separates, from what the Bible says and stuff, like whatever with the tribulation and stuff. I mean, we can see where it's headed. We can see where the earth is headed. So I would say, yeah, if you're going to stay on it, yeah, you may be stuck in the dark for 5 years trying to struggle and go back to living like cavemen. Like, I don't know. It's going to be treacherous, I think. I don't want to be back in that energy. I want out of hell. I don't want to be stuck there anymore. I want out of it. And so if it is like that though, and it is the separation like that, and so like the earth just blows away, like, fuck, I don't know, could it be one of their things when there are explosions and that causes the separation, and then half the people are gone? And to some of the people, it seems like, because this is like when they show it in the movies and stuff, like in The Leftovers and different things, it'll be like the people who are left behind, all they have is like the people's clothes are just laying there. All of a sudden the people are just gone. And that's what they called the rapture. And so if it is like an explosion comes, like a CME, and then this explosion happens and it causes the separation, and it's based all on your frequency. It's all based, everything's on your frequency. And so then that blows it apart, like that kills the earth, where she separates and goes into her soul. And then all of us, that we go into ours, and we go make it a whole nother reality, and go, have a really good time. I feel like it's going to be a good time. It's going to be fun. So I'm excited for it. I don't know how it's going to go down. I try and, all the people who I know, I'm always trying to get them to see things and wake up and heal and do good, because so they raise their vibration. But like, fuck, it's out of my control, man. And, it's a personal thing. And, And then, you know, even if the souls that stay behind, it's not like they're trapped there. They will die out of there. They'll get out. It'll just be like probably a few more years or something. Because that is one thing when they were looking in Looking Glass, all the bad people, when they were looking in Looking Glass, that they don't go on past a certain time. So uh, they like end in like, I think in 2037, that there's nothing of them past that. And so I don't know, because would that be that Earth? Would that be this other Earth? Like, I don't even fucking know. But that is definitely something that's been in the spiritual community for a while, because I've been hearing about this earth splitting thing for a while. But that was the first time I heard it say like that. You know, like when your soul leaves your body and your body's left behind and your soul goes on with its real life. Because it is like all of those people would be on a dead planet then. They'd be on a planet that was dead. The soul had left the planet. So, and started, you know, separated. Like when this ascension happens, like I keep saying, if you're ascending, you're going to stay the same person. Like when you die, you don't stay the same person. You go be other people. You just go keep changing and being other people all the time. So ascending is keeping this person alive. So the person who you're creating, this avatar, that's why it's important for you to love it, because this one's going to be alive for a long time. So you know, so it's, you got to do the work for sure. And so that's the ascension, is doing the work, you know, letting go of your darkness, letting go of everything that holds you down, the chains that bind you, the demons inside, letting it all out so that you just have the light inside of you. So then the light is the ascension part, you know, because you have to be of that frequency. You got to be a higher frequency. You're not a high frequency if you're in the dark. The dark is a low frequency. That's why that's why I call this place hell, because it's so deep and it's a heavy, to me when I see it, like when I'm shown things and stuff, it is like, it's like the dump or something. It's like so heavy. It's so dark, but it's beautiful. Like it's like this beautiful place, like a beautiful flower that grows in a swamp or something. But the energy, like there's so much darkness. And I don't know if it's just built up over time. Like if she was just this beautiful, sparkling flower out there that all these other beings wanted to go and check it out. And then people started settling there. But people started using her right away. There was like mass mining done on her. They would steal all of her gold. It was all sorts of stuff that went on. And people just came in and just abused the shit out of this planet for so long. And out of her beauty. Out of her beauty. She was just used and abused. Fuck, man. I relate. Like, fuck. When people only care, when people don't really care about you, they only care about, like, yeah, it's sad. It's really sad, man. And but I always, you know, I don't know in all my other lives, I just know in this one, I had so much empathy for her from the beginning. Like I was a kid who would get mad if people threw trash on the ground. I'm just disgusted when I see it. I can't believe how people just don't care about her. And so anyways, okay, let me think. So if the CME comes in, so if they blame it on these big coronal mass ejections that keep coming in, because they're keeping these solar storms, which is weird too, because over on the East Coast especially, like like over here, like there's some wacky stuff in the sky, but man, the stuff I see over on the East Coast is whacked. So it was another one where it totally looks like there's a sky behind, and then there's the planet, and then there's the sun, but then behind the planet there's another sun. So it looks like what they've done is like the real sun is out there, and doing the coronal mass ejection, the real sun, and then they spray all this stuff. Like the spraying over there is extreme. Oh my God. So, because people show that all the time, because they're trying to cover this shit up because it's crazy looking. So, but when they covered it up, it's showing these lights coming out the sides, which highlights the planet behind the moon. I mean, behind the sun. So you see the sun, then you see the planet, then you see the light behind the planet. So you see a separate sky behind it. So it's like, they can't keep hiding this. Like, and then plus, the sounds are getting so loud. Like, just cars driving, it is so fucking loud. Like, the firmament has got to be just hanging right down on us. I feel like that's probably just dripping. All this rain just dripping off the firmament. Like, I don't fucking know. But I feel like the firmament is definitely closing in. And whatever the fucking hell with their whack shit with the sun and trying to cover it up. I don't even know. I saw this person do this whole thing about they're covering up the sun and they're cutting down the trees and burying them and doing all the stuff that they're saying because so that the reptilians can come to the surface because they were making it a habitat for them now. It's like, you know, there's all sorts of people out there thinking all sorts of things. Like, I don't fucking know. I just know what I'm here for. I know I'm here for Age of Aquarius. It's like programmed into me. Like, there's a part of me where it seems like, yeah, I get it. Like, if I'm just programmed like a AI thing, like, because we are in this game or something, and it is destined. Like, we don't have control. The mastery of the game is to use the game to your benefit and to learn and grow from the game. So it's, you know, it's a mastery to be able to, you know, maneuver through. It's very challenging. These are hard things to go through in this place. And that's, again, why I call it hell, because that's where the shit goes down. Anyways, that's what they try to tell us. And it's like, I always thought, there's not a place worse than this. Like, this has got so much evil and hatred and horrible things happen here. Horrible things. But see, those things have to play out because they create growth. And that's what the universe depends on, is the growth. And it's only the warriors who come into play these hard fucking things because it's fucking hard. So, anyways, if they do blame it on a CME, which I don't even know, like, you know, I mean, the planet, that Nibiru thing or Narubu or whatever, it's got to be what is just right there that's so huge. When I used to get pictures of it back, I don't know, 2015 or something, it was huge. It looked like a big purple planet. It looked like a big purple thing behind the sun, but it's so much bigger now. Like, it has definitely got to be closer, but it's weird because it's like on the East Coast. It's real close. Over here, I don't see it as much, but I've seen it on this side, like where I've told you, where I've seen like these huge shadows in the sky. And it's like you can feel its presence. And so I know it's out there. And I don't know. They can just see it really good from over there. So they just get the shit sprayed out of them to try and cover it up. But if they do the CME and that causes the power to go out, maybe that's when there's like a separation. I don't know. It's so wacky to not know, like, okay, this stuff's all going to happen, but how and when and whatever. It's very tense. It's all, you know, you got to, it's like, that's a mastery in itself to learn to relax in such tension and stress, you know, to be able to just pull it in and relax and be like, okay, it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. Because I had to do that all the time. You know, do my breathing and stuff. Though it's definitely my daughter, you know, the one who's always out traveling around and just keeps thinking I'm crazy. She's in San Francisco. And I was like, you better be careful. Because they were going to go into town yesterday, because before they were out of the farm, but they were going to go into the city. And a part of me is like, I hope she sees some shit so she will stop thinking I'm crazy. Because something's got to wake her up, man. But I said, you got to be careful. All the people in San Francisco who are doing videos are saying it's so dangerous in San Francisco right now. Like, people come up and just hit you in the head with a bottle out of the blue. Somebody will come up and stab you. Like, it's wild, is what people in San Francisco are saying. And then she said, well, we know somebody there, and they're saying everything's fine. And so we're going to go have fun and whatever. And I was like, okay, just be careful. And then, and so many of these people, they think, like, when they see protests and stuff too, they think, oh, well, that's cool. Everybody's standing up, and stuff, but they don't realize there's setups. There's setups to bring in chaos. There's instigators in there. There's people in there to kill us. That's what they're there for. And then I keep wondering, like, are they going to have fucking cameras out there? There's a CCTV around some of these protests and the people don't know it. And that when the stuff starts coming out, that they're going to start pulling some of these people in and charging them with treason. I mean, there's politicians being charged with treason, and it's the death penalty. I don't think some of these people know what they're messing with when they're out here doing this shit. So that's going to be a big charge. The big things are going to be treason, crimes against humanity. Also, there's RICO is a big one that they're all getting. That is racketeering and something with racketeering. I think it's like all their shady shit with money kind of stuff, because they're playing games with the money, and it's not. I mean, all their shit, their Wall Street, all their shit. So I don't know. There's something with the racketeering, but they're all gangsters. Doesn't that sound like some gangster shit? So they're all fucking like mafioso. And so they're all going to be charged as such. But there's so many people who just keep going out and playing on the wrong team. And all these people keep saying, know what side you're on, know what side you're on. You're probably on the wrong team and don't even know it. But again, that's why the lights come on. The lights will come on. And that's what, to me, has got to be. I don't see how half the people can leave until the lights come on. Because the lights coming on is what's going to wake so many people up. And the lights coming on, it can be, the banks going down, Joe being charged. I mean, he's being so much stuff about him and his racketeering and treason, like all his shit. It's like so everywhere. And so that's all got to be out there. It's got to go mainstream. They've got to take him down. And there will be a crossover on this republic and the constitutional America or the corporate America. The two will have to, make themselves present so everybody knows. And so that's the lights will come on. It's like people will all of a sudden be like, what? And that's when they'll see themselves and feel naked and exposed, because they're playing without all the full information. They don't have the whole thing. Once they have the full information, it's going to change how they see things. But they don't know, because they think it's ego. That's why this whole thing is like an ego death. Why you have to let go. And it has so much to do about discernment and who you follow. All of it goes together. That's why so much of this stuff is playing out. So many things about the followers and people just doing what someone else tells them. It's like you got to break free from that mentality. You got to break into sovereignty and independence. And that's why those things are all being, because that is freedom. I felt total freedom to not care what anybody thought as I'm driving down the street, interacting with the geese, enjoying my life. I didn't care. It was like total freedom, like, and we all got to get to that, like not caring what other people think. That's the freedom of our soul. As soon as we don't feel that freedom in our soul, there's something holding us back. And we got to go in there and see what's holding me back. Why can't I, who am I worried about? Who am I trying to please? Who am I thinking is going to judge me? Because we're all worried about being judged all the time. And you got to let go of other people's judgment in order to truly be free. And so that's why we have key words that go along with this ascension: freedom, independence, and everything about the other, is control. And there's so much gluttony and consumption. And you think about consumption comes with disease, and how much throughout history there's been so much disease. And it's, just trying to move around. I love that girl. Anyways, it's just everything is heating up, no doubt about it. I don't know how all of the things fit in together. I don't know exactly how they all play out. But, you know, there's all these things that are going to go. And we really are, half the people really are leaving. I, I think when half the people go, a lot of them are going to go home, though, to their home planets, wherever they're from. They're not all going to stay on Earth and keep playing out the shitty stuff. Like, a lot of them, you know, whatever will happen, there'll be like a lot of people. I just think a lot of people will, like, if you see the Earth being there and then it's splitting into two, and the soul of the Earth goes one direction, and all the people who have raised their vibration go with that Earth to go live in the age of Aquarius and bliss and love, and, you know, care about our planet, care, you know, just care about the other animals. I've seen some cool footage. This is 2 different times I've seen this, and it's animals walking through a forest, and I'm sure this isn't the same person unless they went out and followed these ones around, which I don't think they would, but because it's 2 totally different areas that I've seen this, like, it's totally different. But it was a mountain lion. I don't think it was a cougar. But one of the videos you can't see it is good. One of it you can see it really good, and it definitely looks like a mountain lion. It could be a cougar. I could be mixing up in my head, like if you see the footage or whatever. And the other one, it's a little bit further away. She's doing it out the window of her house. I think the other one's in a car, maybe. But so she's looking out, and she's like, has anyone ever seen anything like this? This is weird. And it's the big cat, and then 2 deers, just like, they're all just going around as friends, just the big cat and the 2 big, and they're bucks too. They've got the big horn things, and they're all just friends walking through this, trudging through the snow. And then the other one, it was the same thing. It was these deers, I think it was 2 deers, and they were going along with another big cat. So it's like the animals are making friends. The animals are starting to get along. Maybe they're losing their hunger, because I feel like that. I feel like I'm losing my hunger as I heal. Like I don't have a hunger. And so maybe that's a part of the ascension. Maybe that's a part of letting go of that, the 3D aspect of myself, you know, the avatar part of me. But it definitely is like, I don't know. I don't know. So, but if the, okay, let me think. So if it does do that though, and the people that were to go with it, I don't know. I just don't. I think it would be the people who really wanted to stay and work out their stuff, because it still would be destiny. Like, this is, you already planned this. Whatever you're gonna do in this, you're on a ride. You're on destiny. You don't have control over it. I know where I'm going because it's been like, they tell me, you know, and that's why I talk about it. It's like I'm supposed to be trying to get other people to see or something. I don't know. Get other people to see the possibilities, because so many people are so stuck in the dark, and they think like, this is the end. This is the end. But it's really the beginning. So it's not the end for some, but it's not the end for anybody, because there is no end. It just keeps going and going and going and going. It used to trip me out when I was a kid, when people would say infinity. It just keeps going. It used to trip me out bad. Like, I'd be like, fuck, never ends? It just never ends? Like, how does it just keep going? It never ends. But then you get older and you're like, oh, it's because we're doing this. We're going out and we're creating. We're making dreams come true. We're going through experiences. And there's a lot of dark experiences, but that's the benefit of the dark experiences, is the growth that comes with it. The growth that comes with it is like giant leap into your vibratory, you know, once you get over all the obstacles, then you're way up here in your vibration. So it's very beneficial to go through. Like, people don't realize when they're going through so much hard stuff that's really good. The people who aren't going through anything, that's bad. That's the ones I'm the most concerned for. Like, those are the ones where I'm like, oh shit, where are they going? What's gonna go down? Like, are they just going to keep walking around in oblivion? I think the lights are going to come on and shock a bunch of people. I think the people who would be staying are going to be the ones who are really just dark energy, who just really don't care about other people. They don't care. They just don't care. They just are like, they'd rather go take something from somebody. You know, I did a video too yesterday, and I said, if you're a realtor, yeah, I said, if you're a realtor or a flipper and you're trying to move in on people who are dealing with stuff with the bank in their house, you're the problem. You're a big problem. And so then I had a girl come on to my comments and she said, yeah, she worked at a title company, which so does my stepsister, but I think she's quit too. But she worked at a title company, and once she saw how disgusting it was, she was just disgusted, and she quit. She said, it's so sickening. That's what I keep saying. It's sickening. Like, I mean, how many people like go around like they think they're super hot shit because they're realtors? It's like, fuck, I don't look like, I look at you shady, like, ooh. Just like in that show, The Watchers, it was like a mini series, and what's her name? I can't think of her. Jennifer Cooley. She plays a realtor, and the realtor's so fucking shady. And it's supposed to be a true story about this house that was sold, and start getting these letters, and it's a true story that really happened about this letters coming and stuff. And so that's that show's about, but it's just shady shit. And she brings up about the LLCs and all this stuff, and you know, their whole thing that they did to jack up the prices on the houses. And like when I had moved to Spokane, like when I talked about the reason when we left California and went to Spokane, all the houses were like $20,000. And it was just, I mean, it was like it was booming, and all the houses were super cheap. And so all these people from California were moving there, and everybody was leaving California and going to Washington and to Spokane. It was like tons of Californians. And, but when we got there, and so we started trying to go around and see the houses, well, you couldn't see them. You couldn't go in. They would put out the list, and as soon as they wouldn't show you the house unless you went and saw it. And then as soon as you would go and get to it and you would call them, they would say there's already an offer, because the investors don't have to see shit. We couldn't see anything. We couldn't make an offer on a house unless we went in and saw it. The investors, they got to just buy every single house as they came up, and so then they could turn around and sell them. And she talks something about the LLC and stuff. So they do it through these corporate entities and stuff, and it's all to control the economy. Like a town starts going up, they're going to go in and buy all the houses and jack up the house prices so that we all have to spend more money, and they're going to be, you know, they're going to be the ones benefiting all the time. This is just how they do it. And so now, you know, we've got all these houses jacked up all over the place, but because of all of their jackery, they're going to all, you know, it's all falling apart because it was still a little too much jackery. And so that's all going to fall apart. And that's, you know, good for us, because that's the collapse of the economy, because it's the bullshit that they built up is going to collapse, because it was like trying to build a sand castle on air or something. You know, well, it was up there for a little while, but it's all going to go. And so it's, you know, it's just all fucking fake, their financial thing and everything, and then just jacking with us and all about jobs, and then get people to all move to a place, put up a place for jobs, and take all the houses, jack up the prices on the houses, then give them all jobs at this place. Then you got control of everything. You got control of how much money they make, when they get raises, how the whole community runs. And then don't forget, they've got these, I don't know, sponsored families that are in every single community to run it, so that they have control, so that people can't get business licenses. They can't, if they're your business, if you start a business, it could go so far. But once it goes to a certain thing, you don't get to go past that unless you join the club. And, you know, and I don't know about people that get like a big, huge jump in their money all of a sudden, you know, but I'm talking about when you're in a town and you're trying to move up in the town. You're trying to social climb. You're trying to get further ahead, join in with the ranking staff or whatever. Then you are, you got to sell out. You can't join them, you know. But you would never be on their level. And they will never be on the ones above them's level, and they will never be on the ones above them's level. Because even the ones in the town, like Soros is like 3 levels above them, and he's a level below the rotten people. So, because he's still just, you know, a henchman. He's just somebody who is so evil, and they'll give him a lot of money because they know he'll do evil with it. I mean, the way he even got into the whole thing was out of evil. He was going and stealing. And this is also, now this is strange, isn't it? Huh, just thought of this. That is weird. Because when I very first started hearing of this fella, and I was hearing all bad stuff, and is when I very first moved over here, and it was when the sickness and all the shit was going down, and I was at my daughter's. It doesn't speak to me right now, and she would watch CNN all the time. And at the time, like, I would have thought CNN was like just national news. I didn't know it was left leaning. I didn't know that until, you know, until I got more awake. Like, I didn't know that. I just didn't know that it. I didn't know. And then, but this is when I was finding it out, and I said something about him, and she got all upset. And she said, you know, that's because I was listening to these right extremists, right-wing extremists, and they all say this stuff about him. He's such a nice, kind man. He's such a loving person. He just keeps getting treated like this, and it's horrible. The poor guy, he was blue, and he was raised in the H word. It's not in any of the fucking encyclopedias. That H word doesn't exist in all the history books before before 1980. I think even in 1978 and 79, people have been looking and haven't been able to find that H word in there. But that was the big story on him. That's where he's from. He was in it. That is so fucking weird. So, because I think the Anne Frank thing, I think that's propaganda. I don't know. I mean, the Bible's fucking propaganda. So, but old Georgie boy, he was supposedly there. He was supposedly a kid, and as they were killing the blue people, that he would just go. He was also blue, but he, you know, he had to look out for himself, so he would just go steal their stuff. I think he even would turn some in or something. Like, I don't know, he was shady as fuck. And I was just like, oh my God, this guy doesn't seem well, he was just trying to survive. You got to understand what it was like then. It's like, I don't know. Maybe you need to hear some of the other stuff about him. But they close it off. They don't want to hear any of that stuff. That's why they keep basing their opinions on half the information. They don't want to hear the other half. And then they use their biases. Oh, no, that's right-wing information. No, it's not. How is that right-wing information? I'm not right-wing, and I heard it. It's like, but then as soon as you say anything that goes against their narrative, all of a sudden I'm right-wing, I'm a racist, I'm this, I'm that. And it's like, this is bullshit. You know, it is, it's bullshit. And they don't even see their own biases on that. And then they even turn on their mom on this stuff. So, yeah, it's weird. So they made a whole storyline for that fella. Like, where the hell did the guy really come from? If the H thing may have happened in the 20s, though, because remember in the, there was all those papers that all these people were finding. It was the New York Times. I feel like it was the New York Times, but I can't remember. But it was some newspaper, and they had all these old copies, and it was from the 1918 and 1920, and it was talking all about these attacks on the blue people and how many were being killed. It was like 140,000 and stuff. So if the H thing, if this battle, but see, they had to lie and put it together because they had to do something about Mustache Man. And if Mustache, and I know Mustache Man was in those times because my sister-in-law was German, and those people came to her house. Her parents were friends with them, the Yahtzees. Some Yahtzee leader or something, like she remembers some. So with those, if those were the soldiers, the Mustache Man, like, I don't know, but the Mustache Man was there then, but I just don't know that he was doing all the things that they said he did. But she wouldn't have been born in the 40s. No, because she's talking about what her parents had said. I think that her parents had said that they had been over. I don't know, because she's only a couple years older than me. I was born in 61. So it would have had to been her parents and her grandparents. So it had to been their stories. I don't know. I would have to ask her more. But, I mean, still, there could have been a whole fucking, just like when we were watching it in real time, where they're telling people a fake history and people are believing it. So, and that's happening right here before our eyes. We're watching it. So it makes sense that they did it before. And it's crazy how many people think that this is a repeat of that, but then you can't find that in the history book. And even if they did it in the 20s, in 1918, if they killed all the blue people, which they didn't kill them all, but there's some kind of thing over them going to that land and then taking it from the other people, and then it's like a whole fucking thing. And then it was like in 1948, even when there's still shit going on, just like with Hawaii. Like where they're sitting here telling us at school, Hawaii's a state, it's the 51st state, and it's not even. It's occupied land that they're taking from Indians. It's like, fuck, man. They're the lies upon lies upon lies. It's just mental, but yeah, that whole thing about, because it's the same thing with Israel, like, at the same time, there's shit going on in 48. Like, these mad wackadoos were just out taking land from everybody. I mean, that's what they did with the Gaza. That's what they did with the Strip. Like, take their land, or they're a bunch of Indians. They don't care about them. Just indigenous people, native to the land. Fuck them. So, just go in and take it. And that, to me, is just the whole mentality of it. You can see that, you know, if you go all the way back to when all the different people from all the different planets were coming here and using the planet for what she had, then just stripping her bare and stuff, and the different settlers that came at that time. God, my hair keeps falling out. The different settlers that kept coming at that time, and then some of them that stayed. Those are the people, I think, that keep pushing the indigenous people out of their lands. But there's a whole thing with the indigenous people, because there's other tribes that have been here that came a long time ago, like when the people were coming, and the different beings from different planets. And also think about this too, because all these different beings that were from all these different planets were coming and having sex with humans and making hybrid babies, and then making all these different tribes and stuff. So okay, what was I gonna say? Because so when you think about that, because I was thinking about this yesterday, I saw something, and I was thinking, you know, the humans, the ones that Anunnaki made, so there was some sort of animal here, and then they started tweaking it, and made it into a human. So they had the little slaves, but then the slaves were obviously attractive. So, I mean, even the Anunnaki, even, I don't remember which one, Enki or something, because it was two brothers. Enki, I think, is one of the brothers. And they fought over the whole thing about humans and stuff. And I think it was Enki who started having sex with them and having babies with them and stuff. So there's, like, I mean, most everybody's like a hybrid. Some of us are just lab made, like, but still, we still have a hybrid also, because even though they did send out all of the stork babies, the Cabbage Patch babies, the lab made babies, the incubator babies, the orphan trained babies, all the babies they made in the labs, when they sent them out after the last reset, they still had a mixing with the people who were the ones that had been here a long time. So they still, like even if, my grandmas were off the orphan trains and made in the labs, then they still mixed with, like, one mixed with a Scottish guy and one mixed with a Ukrainian guy. And so I would still have some kind of DNA from other planets or other beings or whatever. I just wouldn't be just lab created. And even if they just lab created them, they had to use all DNA from all these different ones. The thing is that they're just trying to create, well, you can see it in people. You can see what happens when you put fluoride in the toothpaste and you cut off their pineal gland. You get them to dye their hair. You get them to tell them that God is this mean person who will damn you to hell if you don't do what he says. You get like total mind control over the weak-minded, but then they cut you off from your soul. So that's that interference. I said they cause like an interference in the Wi-Fi between the human avatar and the soul. And so, and then they use these things, hair color, toothpaste, there's all sorts of, and then trying to take the melanin out of the blood. And so whatever they're trying to do is trying to make their very, what is the word? I swear to God, it comes in my head all the time until I try to say it. Very, they're perfect. Their perfect human is just like a droid, bald, sexless, genderless, no identity, no culture, no idea who it is. Just, that's what they're working towards. It takes a little while to get there, but you can see how they have so many people completely cut off from their souls. That they don't hear their souls, they're just living a dark life and don't have any idea. And so but again, in the game, that is a challenge. That is something that the soul can override. But these are the challenges. That's how hard this video game is. Like, this is like, if you're a gamer, this is so another level. And if you ask me, like, I don't know about what it's like to just play games. It seems like you're just going through, trying to do this, grab some tools, fight this guy and stuff like that. This is so another level, This is extreme gaming. So, okay, let me think. Let me think what else I was gonna say. But we have no idea how it's gonna go down, what it's gonna go down. I mean, it's just storm after storm, and then keep bringing in this chaos and stuff. Keep dripping in all the truth that's gonna come out. But then it's all gonna all explode, and that's when the lights are gonna come on. That's when all this stuff is gonna go down. And that to me, after that, is when the firmament goes. Maybe that's when the solar flash goes, and that's when the spaceships come in, and that's when, the separation happens. That's what I think. I mean, that's how I feel. I feel like there's going to be this whole part of the awakening of all this bad stuff around you. But you have to awaken. Like I told my daughter yesterday, I said, what if you went to a lake and you went and you swam all day in the lake, you were having fun, and then you left and you went home, and then you found out that lake was full of crocodiles? How would you feel? And she said, I don't know. She said, well, how would you feel if you did it? And I said, well, I wouldn't do it. And she said, well, why? Why would I do it then if you didn't do it? And I said, because I know the lake's full of crocodiles. And I wouldn't have got in it. I would have read the signs. I would have known. And so it's like you can't get people to understand that they're not paying attention in life. They're not reading the signs. They're just focused on, having fun or whatever. They're not focused on paying attention. The signs, they're all around you. But people don't pay attention. But from somebody who has my whole life, oh, yeah, they're there. It's just like a video game. I didn't understand life on that concept, but once I did, then it was like, oh, yeah, it's totally. You come across these people, they give you tools. You have to use tools against these people. You have to use, it's this whole maneuvering through. Life is exactly the same thing. So, anyways, but that's what I can't see it being any other thing than this big thing happen with the money and the government and the medical, all of this collapse of what has contained and controlled us collapsing, that people wake up to like, oh my God, what the fuck? I can't believe I was doing that. I can't believe I did that. I can't believe, there's gonna be so much of that. And then the outrage is what creates the big, the firmament busting. I swear, it's all this stuff that's going to happen up in the skies. The firmament busting, the ships coming in, whatever, however it's going to go down. I think it's going to be after this part. And then that's when I think that's going to be the separation. And when Allison Coe talks about it in her QHHTs, where people kept seeing this happen, they kept saying that it was the low vibration people, that the ships come in and take them, but all the people are like in a trance, that the people don't really seem to know what's going on, and that they load them up in ships and then they take them out someplace else, to a place to keep working on their stuff. So I don't know. That was in a bunch of QHHTs though, where people were saying that. Like, you'd have to go back and watch all our different ones. I could go back and watch those. Maybe I would see them different now. I should go back and watch some of those, because I probably would see them different. There probably would be more hints. It's crazy, even if you go watch some old movies now, how you see them. And I've been saying that for a while, but I heard somebody else saying it too. It's like, it's really weird, because there's a lot of stuff in there that you just didn't notice, like the signs. There's a lot of stuff in there you didn't notice until you go and watch it, and then after things have played out, and it's like, oh my God, it was right there. So anyways, yeah, in her QHHTs, it kept being that they were going to come and take everybody on these ships, not the people who are awake. The people who are high vibration, they're going to stay on the planet whenever this happens. Something happens, and I don't know if it's like the separation. There's something that happens on the planet, and so the high vibration people stayed on it. And so some of the people, they said people left on the ships, and the people who stayed on it said that it was like an energy. An energy came in and went over them, and I think one of the people said it was like everybody was down on the ground. Everybody just like fell on the ground and was laying there. But then after a few minutes, everybody started getting up and everybody was fine. And so it's like this big energetic wave. But see, your frequency, your vibration has to meet it. That's why they have to take all the people who are low vibration, because that vibration would kill them. Like, they couldn't survive it. You have to be the same vibration. It's like you cannot travel past your vibration. It's impossible. Your frequency is who you are. Like, that's who you really are. Even though you go look in the mirror and go, oh, this is who I am. No, it's not. It's not really. You're really the vibration inside. You're how you look at things. It's how you feel about things. That's who you are. And, anyways, we'll see. We'll see what this weekend brings. It's going to keep building up no matter what. Even if this isn't the weekend that finally tumbles us into freedom, it's going to still be, more chaos, more bullshit, more people getting killed, more just absolute fuckery. So, by the way, now my words I say the most every day is probably fuckery and Jack. Jack is such fuckery. God. He's so hyper and so wild, and he's so smart. He's so fucking sneaky. And he just, no boundaries. Like, a fence, fuck that fence. I'll just dig out from under it. Just go, he's out in this yard, out in that yard. It's like, dude, oh, God. Priscilla needed a friend. She gets so irritated with him, too. But then they love each other, too. So, I know he's going to grow into a great guy. He's really sweet and loving, and but he's just, oh my gosh, he's very impulsive, very hyper run, and then he can run fast. And when he's running, I don't think then he turns his ears off. He just go go go, and I'll feel like, oh, I think I'm watching him right there, and all of a sudden he's right here, running up from behind me. It's like, oh my gosh. And Stella has always been so proper with her pooping. She never poops in the path. She always goes and poops up in the, up by the trees and stuff. Because I have paths through my yard. Not him. He's like, path, perfect. Let me just poop right here. You can walk in it, which I've already done. I've already walked in some poop. Because all the fucking leaves are falling. No telling what the treachery is going to be outside now. I'm sure the wind is, there's been so many windstorms though. They've blown down all the dead, I mean, last time it was like all the fucking dead needles were off. But now there's been so many trees that are turning. So all those leaves, there's tons of leaves, I'm sure, but all the big giant branches, it seems like that they had all fallen, but I don't know, maybe there's more. There was definitely some loud crashing out there. So I'll have to go out and see. I know when they had the last big windstorm here, that I was right a couple months before I moved in. And, but they told me, because when I moved in, there was trees on houses and stuff. And when I talked to somebody, the girl who was on the HOA with me, who was the geologist, who would talk about the volcanoes and stuff, she said that it started getting real windy, and then she said stuff started blowing, like furniture, like everything that was outdoors started going. And she said that's when it got crazy, like, and so there's nothing like that. Like, I've got my furniture and stuff out there, but I would think like my bike's out there. I've got a lot of furniture out there, so that would be blowing if it was real severe windstorm. So I don't know. I mean, they've got the trees, and then the trees are so wet. There's a thing about these trees too. A certain tree out here, I can't remember which kind. Maybe it's called a juniper evergreen or something. I don't know. I'm not an expert on trees either. But some kind of big tree out here. And they have a really low root. So they don't have a deep root. And then they're super, super tall. So when they do this, like get all this water on the ground that makes it, nothing's holding it, and then they bring in these wind, that's what I think they're trying to do, is uproot those trees and make them knock down on houses. And I saw a footage of just a neighborhood in a city the other day, and a tree had fallen down and fallen on a car and stuff. So I don't know. I think they're trying to use everything that they can against us. So, and then I think that they know, like, all these trees, when you have the ground be this wet, it's so wet. Like, when you go out and walk, it is like walking on a sponge. It's so spongy. It is so soft and wet. And the trees are all still from last year. They all still have all those marks on them, because whatever they sprayed on them last year, or all the needles went off. And then all the trees started having these white lines going up their trunks. So I was like, oh my God. I did a lot of videos on that. And I have trees totally just died. Everybody has trees that totally died through it. But they don't think anything about it. I do. I know who's fucking doing it. And I know they're doing it for a reason. It's not just happening for no reason. No, it's a setup. That's what they do. They don't fucking waste time not setting you up. They're setting us all up for bullshit. So they fucking get all these trees to be sick. I don't know if they've did something, like somebody told me that those things going up, and I have seen a lot of mold. That is doing something about mold and rot in the roots. And so then that makes the roots unstable, and then saturate them like this, then bring in these big gusts of wind, because this is like the third one in the last month. Or the last like 30 days or something. I don't know. I'd have to go back and check the footage, because I always talk about when it's happening. Maybe it's 2 months. But these huge wind things were so fucking loud. And so if they get the trees all rotten, then you bring in all the water, destabilize the root system, then bring in the wind, you know, they don't care. I mean, I don't think they're thinking they're going to take down every tree, but they just like it when they take down a couple and fall on people. That's their favorite thing. Oh, did we crush some people? Yay. One down, 500 million left to go. That's all they want to do. Their game is to murder us. So, anyways, you just got to keep being safe. Oh, yeah, and I saw this yesterday, too. And I don't know if I said it on here. I might have seen it after I did my recording yesterday. There was a couple things yesterday I wanted to say. I can't remember for sure both of them, but this one I did was, did I already talk about that lady? I think I did already talk about her. And then she had said about they were getting the pregnant people. And yeah, I think I already did talk about that. Because that is like, fuck, man. That's gruesome. Just kidnap those pregnant girls and then just cut their babies out, throw them, and then just stuff them full of drugs and use them as a fucking suitcase. God, it's so disturbing. And they must just lay them in the back of the car, this dead person with all this stuff inside their stomach. And then, and you can stuff a lot of stuff in there. They probably try and get the ones that have the biggest babies, like the biggest bellies, and then cut it out, just throw the part. Oh my God, and it's weird too that they would waste the baby. That's weird. There must be a lot of money in whatever they're moving. More money than what that baby was worth. Because that baby's worth like $100,000. So, look, man, blow off $100,000 to stuff whatever they're stuffing in her belly, like, bug. But then I think the same thing that they did before. But you'd think that the people would start catching on. Maybe they sit them up in the car and put the seatbelt on them. And maybe they even tie their head to the thing. I don't see how a woman could be alive, though, after her baby's cut out and then they stuff her full of drugs. I don't think she could be alive. So, and they're using them as, it's like a Trojan horse or whatever. It's a suitcase. They're using them as a suitcase. So, and they've got to have been caught so many times, with using the little kids in the back seat. As a suitcase. So, I don't know. This is a fucking sick-ass world. That's why I call it hell. So, you just gotta keep being safe wherever you are and whatever's going down and going on. And who knows what this weekend has. Like, each weekend where it has this whole build-up, like, oh, this weekend could be bad. It'll have a lot of bad things happen. But then there's a lot of us that nothing happens to. But, a lot of bad things keep happening. So there seems like a lot of bad things going on in Texas, I'll tell you. A lot of bad things in Texas. New York is about, like, they just brought in the big tree to have that big ceremony. Like, are they going to let that ceremony go by without any fuckery? I don't know. Any of the things, it's like, I mean, they're all just sitting there locked and loaded. Like, there's, we're all just like the sitting ducks. You don't even know, whose scope you're in. So it's just like, but it's destiny. Well, it's destiny. You can't sit and freak out about it. Can't worry about it. Like, I was even thinking, if these people keep pulling up and trying to film my house or something, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to ask for their card. And then when they give it to me, I'm going to tell them I'm going to turn it into the authorities. And then they may not know yet, but when the lights come on, well, let the panic set in. When you figure out, like, you're committing crimes against humanity and you're treason and you're working for the devil, like, yeah, good luck to you. I think there's going to be a lot of realtors, a lot of doctors, a lot of lawyers, well, we know what's going on with the judges. Like, that judge, I knew as soon as I saw his stupid fucking grin, I thought, oh, you've done some shit we're about to find out. And then the people who are showing it too do compare him to Anthony Weiner. He is the same. Like, hey, look at me. And they're, sorry, dude, but you don't look good. I don't know what the fuck. I don't know. It's just ego. I guess, well, I'm a judge. Well, I'm married to a congresswoman. Well, I'm married, like, they'll think they're hot shit. It's like, no, you're a bunch of fucking weirdo pervs. Who gives a fuck about you? Good luck with you. Now karma's a bitch. It's not gonna be your bitch. Karma's gonna be your enemy. Because now you're gonna have to pay the piper. All these people are about to pay the piper for the fucking bullshit they've done. And many will pay with their lives. And I don't know what happens in their afterlife. Like when you've accumulated all this karma and stuff, like, I just don't know. And I don't know, especially the ones who, because there's a lot of these beings, they're not high vibration. Like, they just stay down on planets like this. Like, the ascension's real. I'll tell you, the ascension's real. Really focus on getting rid of your dark, letting go of what holds you back. Anything that keeps you being bitter and angry and hateful towards others, get to the bottom of it and get it out of you. Find the light inside of you and just keep working on you and keep working on you, because that's what's really happening here in this world. All their other stuff that they keep saying, the people who do focus on the dystopian future, like I think there is going to be, there will be a split. So you got to figure out what your focus is and go with that. You know, focus on what you want in life, not what you don't want. Focus on what you love, not what you hate. And so I'll talk to you later. I'll try and hurry and get this downloaded while we got power, so we'll see. And then if I don't come back tomorrow or the next day, it would be because one of these storms knocked out our power. So if I don't come, don't worry. There's all sorts of videos to watch. The power will come back on eventually. Eventually we'll find each other again. So just go with the flow, don't stress, and just keep working on yourself. But probably, you know, if the overall power goes out, you know, everybody's just gonna be on your own. That's when you gotta go in deep. When there's no distractions, always go in deep. Purge out the darkness. Get rid of all the darkness inside of you. And I'll talk to you later. Bye.